Hi, katzcradul here. I hope this video doesn't seem too disjointed, but it was an afterthought. I've started this process and thought I'd show you midway through. I know you're smart enough to understand if I go back and tell you what I've already done. About a month ago, I tried dehydrating sweet potatoes. I want to have them in my food storage because they are incredibly high in fiber and vitamin A, and that vitamin can be a little difficult to get in your diet unless you store lots of carrots, but I wanted another way to get it, so I want to have sweet potato. Here is the jar of sweet potatoes, ground up sweet potatoes that I did about a month ago. They're okay. When you rehydrate them, they are just a little bit chunky and grainy, but I did find that if I put some hot water in my blender and then pour some of this powder in and blend it up, that it does get very smooth and palatable. It's very good. How I process these is that I baked the sweet potatoes till they were completely done. I sliced them, laying the slices on my dehydrator until they were dry, and then I ground them up into a powder in my blender. It wasn't, when I rehydrated, it wasn't as smooth as I like, so I thought, okay, there's got to be another way. So I think it was Bexarprepper who said that she boiled her sweet potatoes till they were done, then peeled them, then mashed them, and then spread the puree on her fruit leather trays on her dehydrator, then broke them up and ground them. And that's what I have tried yesterday, and it's much better. And I will tell you, the color is better. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but these are much brighter. These, of course, are darker because I baked them, and you know when you bake a sweet potato, the skin gets a little bit brown, and it kind of oozes out that dark sugar, you know, that you get on your tray when you cook them. These were boiled, and I did a lot of them. I did probably maybe 10 huge sweet potatoes, and the only pot that I had that was big enough to hold them all was my boiling water canner, and so I filled that with water, and I put all those sweet potatoes in there with skins on, which I have never done. I've never boiled a sweet potato before. It took maybe 45 minutes, I don't know, to an hour until they were done. Some of them were huge. I took them out and put them on a rack to let them cool. Then I peeled them. Then I put them in my mixer and beat them up. And then I spread the puree onto my fruit leather trays. Well, this one won't come up because it's kind of stuck. Here's one that's pretty clean. See, the fruit leather trays are on top of my, I don't know why these won't come up, because I've got stuff stuck all on the side over here. But you know what a fruit leather tray is. Here's one that'll come up. I spread them onto those. Now, all of those sweet potatoes I did, and there were a bunch of them, it pretty much fills my boiling water canner. All of those sweet potatoes, once I got them mashed up, fit on fit on 5 trays. And here's how it looked going on the trays, sort of. And here's how it looks coming off, meaning that the color stayed exactly the same. It is a vibrant, bright orange. Now, what I did halfway through, and this is the reason you see some sweet potatoes stuck here, and I will tell you this comes off very easily with a butter knife. If you just run your knife under it, it comes right off. So I'm not worried about that. I did not want to spray Pam on these trays. I thought there would be some sticking, and sure enough there was. But I didn't want to spray Pam on there. First of all, I try not to use Pam if I can. I'm not that fond of it. The other thing is, I didn't want any kind of oily substance or residue on that sweet potato if I was going to put it in a jar and vacuum seal it and preserve it long term. So the good thing is that the stuff comes right off the trays, and so I can grind that up. Now, what I did, let me see if I can get these 2 pieces off. What I did midway through, when it got dry enough on the edges for me to be able to pick it up, I peeled, let me get it up. Hold on. See, this is the sheet of sweet potato ring. Here's how it originally looked when it went on the tray. See, this side is kind of smooth. And when I was able to lift it up, I turned my dehydrator off for a little while and put the trays out and let them cool just slightly. and then I went all around the edge, prying it up, pulling it up, and it was still slightly flexible then. And then I just turned it over, and you can see here's where it tried to stick. That's what you're seeing on the trays over here. Here's where it tried to stick, but then I went ahead and dried this underside here, which was still just a little damp, okay? But now, Prepper, would you come hold this so I can show them how it breaks up? Are you in here?
I'm here.
Here she comes. Okay, just hold this so I can show them. Just if you'll just focus right here. There you go. So now it really is, you can see, I can hold it up. It's totally brittle. Here's a piece that broke off in my hands. Let me see if I can break it without having it fly everywhere. Yep, here we go. See how it just breaks? Beautiful. Exactly how I wanted it. We have a humidifier in our dining room area that I, of course, have turned off whenever I'm working with dry food because I don't want any moisture in here. When I'm through processing this, and I'll turn my humidifier on. That's just a tip for you. Here you go. Even if you're opening number 10 cans to put it into smaller portions, be sure your humidifier is turned off because you don't want any moisture in there. See, it just breaks beautifully. So I'm just breaking that up and putting it in my blender, and then I blend it up till it's fine, which is very little effort at all. It doesn't take any time at all. And there's that beautiful sweet potato powder. And all I have to do to make a bowl of sweet potatoes for my family is to pour boiling water over it and let it sit for 10 minutes or so because the sweet potato is already cooked. So, okay, so some of you are saying to me, well, great, so katzcradul, what do we do when there's no power and you can't use a blender? Here's what I plan to do. This is what I'm saving up. I watched What You Waiting For's video this morning where she's saving up for a pressure canner and an Excalibur. Here's what I'm saving up for right here, a Vortex hand crank blender. This is available through Emergency Essentials. I first saw it when I went to the Dervaes website. The Dervaes are the one who took, I think, 1/10 of an acre. Their house just sits on a regular lot in a very busy part of, I think it's Los Angeles, and they have made their whole homestead a garden. It's amazing. I'll put a link down in case you're not familiar with the Dervaes. I think they're where I first got my inspiration for wanting to have a little homestead where our whole yard was cultivated. They kind of have my dreams set up. But anyway, they try to use as little power from the grid as they can, and so they have a lot of handheld or hand crank appliances. And this Vortex hand crank blender is something I want. It's $89. And I know for certain it would puree the wet sweet potatoes to get it on the tray. Not sure if it's powerful enough to grind up this hard stuff, but I'll let you know when I get it. I'm probably a few months away from ordering that. However, I do believe, in fact, I'll try it and let you know in one of my videos, I do believe that if I put these hard pieces into a bowl and pour boiling water on them, that they would go ahead and turn right into sweet potatoes. So there's probably no need to turn it into a powder other than it's a more economical form to store it in because the powder takes up much less room. I will tell you, Emergency Essentials has a pretty good sale going on right now. They've got freeze-dried peach chunks in a number 10 can that are usually $30.95 on for $16.99. That's a great deal. They've got some roast beef on sale and strawberries. I don't need that right now. Here's something that I saw somebody use the other day. Oh, Bexarprepper, in fact, used freeze-dried cauliflower. And all the reviews I've seen on it says that it's excellent. So I'm getting some freeze-dried cauliflower. And then there is a group buy on freeze-dried whole raspberries. This is a pretty good deal. It's normally $27.95 a can. It's on for $18 a can. A couple of friends of mine are going in with me, so all of us are getting 2 cans, and the group buy requires that you buy 6, so we're getting those. Sweet potato dices are on sale here too. That's kind of a new product, this freeze-dried sweet potato dices. However, I don't need those. I'm preserving my own sweet potato. So I hope this helps you. Sweet potatoes are on sale now. This is the time of year. I found these for 39 cents a pound, which I think is a steal. And I'm just so excited to have, I mean, what's better, with a ham slice steak for supper than some sweet potatoes? I just love it. So anyway, I hope you'll consider storing sweet potato. It's an easy thing to do. It did take a little better than 24 hours to dry them, but I don't care. It only costs 7 cents an hour to run my dehydrator. So I hope this helps you and gives you an idea. Thank you, Prepper, for coming over and running the camera for a bit. You want to say Happy New Year to everybody?
Happy New Year, YouTubers.
There you go. All right, katzcradul and Prepper out. I just felt the need to come back and tell you a couple of more things. I do that sometime when you're making a video. When you don't script them, sometimes as you're sitting working, you think of something else you should have said. I just want to tell you, this is the typical grocery produce sack that you probably have at your grocery store too. What you're seeing dehydrated in this jar was 2 of these grocery bags stuffed full, as full as I could get them of sweet potatoes. 2 of them. Now you look how huge that is. 2 of those full. That's what's in this jar. That is an amazing, space-saving way to keep sweet potatoes. So anyway, and I still have, I think you can see through, I still have that much room at the top of the jar. It's just amazing, as heavy as it can be. The hardest part of the whole process, and there was nothing to it really, it was so easy just to boil those sweet potatoes in that big pot. The thing I took the most time on, I'm going to show you a little tip here to make it easier because it took me a while to figure out. As I put my puree on this tray, if you have an offset spatula, it helps immensely. This is what I spent the most time on, smoothing the sweet potato to get it even, because you have this whole tray here and you don't want a big old wet spot over here and a dry spot over here. It's very difficult to, when this is done, to separate it and have this part that's wet over here keep drying. So I did take a lot of time. The great thing is I could rest the top of my spatula on the rim of this fruit leather tray and just slide it around like this. And then I would turn my tray and slide this on the top of the rim to get it even here. And then as I did the outside edges, I just rested my offset spatula here and came around like that. And it made it very, very even. I had very little trouble. Some places on the trays in the very middle, it was a little damp when I flipped my sheets of sweet potato over. So if you have an offset spatula, it'll help you a lot. One more thing I forgot to show you in this catalog that's on sale that I highly recommend. You get, if you don't have any, this will not focus in very well. These are the great heavy-duty swing-away can openers. They are on sale. They're on sale for $8.95. Another place in the catalog, it tells you where they usually, I think they're usually $10 or $11. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to find it. But I will tell you this. Something I didn't tell you, hope I'm not making you dizzy here. Something I didn't tell you about this blender. I was talking to Pasadena, and he said, you ought to go ahead and talk to him about that. I don't want this blender just for convenience of blending food. I'm trying to think ahead to a time when I might have to eat a little bit of a different diet than I'm used to. Or what if I can't go outside to garden for a period of time? I know that what I can do is take some of the sprouting trays I have, or that actually for putting seed pots in. I can take a few of those long, low, flat black trays, spread some potting soil on them, sprinkle them with some whole wheat berries, my wheat seeds, mist them down and put them in a sunny window, and I can grow wheatgrass indoors. Now, you can't just cut wheatgrass and cook it in the pot and eat it, and you can't just chew it raw. I mean, you could. It would take forever, and I don't have a cud. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, would be when that wheatgrass sprouts up about 4 inches tall, is give it a haircut. Put it in that blender with some water and maybe some orange drink mix or some dehydrated peaches, anything that might sweeten it just a little bit of honey, and blend that up and drink it. You would have a wonderful drink that's loaded with vitamins and minerals, and you could live on that. You could eat fresh food, fresh live food, without ever having to step outside your house. Now, I know that seems drastic, but if you're wanting to prepare for all contingencies, it's something you might consider. I could even go a step further and say that I would throw a tablespoon of whole egg powder in there. The whole egg powder you could eat without cooking it because it's already been pasteurized. You could throw the 1 tablespoon of whole egg powder in there and blend that up, and wow, what a powerhouse. You've got your proteins, you've got your vitamins, you've got your fiber and minerals. What an excellent thing to have. So my heart is set on getting this hand crank blender. I can see so many uses for it, but one of the main uses I want it for is so that I can make wheatgrass smoothies in it in a time when I may not have other fresh fruit to eat. So this isn't meant to scare or to make you afraid. It's to empower you and make you feel like you can handle any situation that comes your way. I want you to be able to use the food that you have stored to its maximum and to get the maximum benefit from it. I hope this gives you some ideas and makes you think. Now, katzcradul, I really am out this time. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.